And Bill Magnarelli joins us tonight from our Syracuse newsroom. Assemblyman, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Now, you left the Capitol today at what time about?
Oh, approximately 2 o'clock.
And
there was, in the afternoon.
There was no deal. And finally, the Speaker just said, okay, guys, go home.
That's right. We've been passing bills all week long. I know you know that. And you know, it just came to a point where, as far as the budget was concerned, there was nothing else happening. Our understanding is that both the Speaker and the Leader of the Senate were looking for the Governor to have a meeting, and we're hoping to do so. I think they were going to New York City to try to meet with the Governor and finalize more of the budget.
Looking for the Governor, that means that they could not locate him in Albany. My understanding is he left yesterday. He did some radio interviews in the Albany area, and then he left, and it's not exactly clear where he's been. Do you think that that's appropriate for him, that kind of behavior?
Well, you know, the only thing I can say is that the Governor has from time to time chastised the legislature for not being in Albany. We're trying to get the budget done, and we're there, and we're working every day. The only thing I can say is that my leadership was telling us that they weren't sure exactly where the Governor was. I'm happy now that they are going to sit down, they are going to talk, and the hope is that they'll get this done.
We actually, reporters asked the Speaker of your House, Shelley Silver, whether he thought the Governor was negotiating in good faith, and he said, well, we'll know over the weekend. Do you believe that the Governor has been negotiating in good faith? Or, you know, he just put out this everything but the kitchen sink extender bill. It's quite massive. It includes some things that your House doesn't like the property tax cap, for example, and sale of wine in grocery stores. I'm not sure how you personally feel about those particular issues, but first, before we get there, do you believe the Governor is negotiating because he really wants a deal, or that he's trying to make a point?
Well, I tend to agree with the Speaker on this one. I think we're going to know a lot more over the weekend, and whether or not this is really a good faith effort to bring the budget process to a close. You know, I was the chairman of the Ethics Committee as well earlier this year, and he threw everything but the kitchen sink into an ethics bill after the legislature passed a very good, substantive ethics bill as well. So I don't know if this is the way the Governor gets around actually getting something done. Or if it's, you know, really, you know, what he's trying to do, and that he is negotiating in good faith, at least the way he sees it. I'm open to negotiations. I'm open to listening to what the Governor has to say, and I don't think that the Assembly has ever had the position this year that we were looking to close things down or shut the Governor off.
What is your personal position, and do you also believe that the Assembly might be able to pass some of these things that the Governor has put in the extender bill, which would theoretically, unless a deal is reached at the 11th hour, force a shutdown if you don't vote for it? Wine and grocery stores, for example, only $300 million worth of the $1.4 billion cut of education. That's a major initiative for you guys, restoring that money. The property tax cap, where do you believe your conference and then you personally stand on that?
Well, I know that my conference, the major priorities have always been, ever since I've been there for the last 12 years, they've been education, higher education, and we're concerned right now about property taxes. And those are the things that we have to make sure that we're taking care of in this budget. As far as what you have told me over the last few minutes of the extender that he's proposing, I'm very concerned about the changes that the Governor may want to make in this extension bill to the SUNY system, to the CUNY system. You know, these are things that go to the core of what our state education system is all about. And I think that, you know, putting them, first of all, in a budget bill, I did not think was appropriate because I think they have to be aired out and discussed in great detail. Now putting them in an extender, and again, I don't know to what extent because I have not been briefed on the extension bill and I have not seen it, but just putting them in something like that to me does not seem appropriate. As far as all of the other things that you have mentioned, those are things that we have been bandying around, and we need to look at them all. As far as wine and liquor stores are, wine and grocery stores are concerned, I have not been in favor of that in the past, but again, we have to take a look at the entire budget, everything that's being presented, and then make decisions.
Do you believe now, and I know you haven't seen the budget extender bill, and in fact we just received them ourselves here in Albany, and the press corps was briefed by the budget director, but do you believe that there actually is room to get some kind of a deal before Monday, or there's going to be a showdown in some kind of shutdown? And it should be said also, you've already passed about 70% of the budget in extender bills and standalone budget bills, so it's unclear to me what a shutdown might even look like, because some of the budget has actually been funded.
Well, that's correct, and I'm going to be honest with you too. I don't know exactly what a shutdown would entail, but obviously it's going to entail some things. I would assume that the Department of Education is going to shut down. I would suppose that SUNY's going to shut down.
But it's summer vacation.
You know, obviously it's going to have an impact.
Yeah, but it's summer vacation, right? So kids are out, so I'm not sure. I mean, of course, obviously SUNY needs to continue operating, but in terms of impact on parents, impact on children, there would be an impact on teachers who work, particularly SUNY professors, summer school, that kind of thing. But in terms of a grand scale, it's just not clear what that would mean.
I agree with you, and that's something that we're going to look into over the next couple of days and over this weekend while we look into exactly what the governor is proposing and how we're going to negotiate from there. The one thing that I would like to say is that I don't believe that we're ready. We've never been, advocating for shutting government down. The bottom line is we'll work very hard not to do that, but if it means pushing the legislature, or at least pushing the Assembly, into a position that is contrary to its core beliefs, like dismantling the SUNY system as we see it, as one that is going to provide a quality education to all of the students of New York State, no matter what their income levels are, then I think there's going to be a major problem with that kind of a bill. I think that could be the sticking point.
Let me ask you just for 1 second before I let you go, just switch gears into politics, if I may. You were the subject of some very harsh talk back in the day when Eliot Spitzer was governor, and he was very upset with the legislature, and he came, if I'm not mistaken, to your district and was very angry at you during the fight over who should replace Alan Hevesy as state comptroller. Now, you're hearing a lot of tough talk from the Democratic gubernatorial candidate, AG Andrew Cuomo. He's saying some things about the legislature needs to change and Albany is dysfunctional, and